All right. What's up, guys? We're live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. And actually, StreamYard here. Oh, there's Chad right there.
There is he. There he is.
Hey.
There he is.
Yeah, and the StreamYard app, you guys can actually go into and share it to your social, your actual band social, if you want to. Share this live to it.
See if I can figure out how to do that. You're asking me to do impossible things.
Yeah. Just share it to the Lost Circus page there, brother.
Yeah, I'm live on 3 of my page, so we got quite a few people out there.
Cool.
How's it going tonight, guys?
Excellent. Appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys coming on. I jammed the music last night, and I dig it a lot.
Thanks.
What's some of you guys' influences when catch you started playing music? There's Tom.
There's Tom.
I was hoping Tom would blink. It almost looked like a photo for a second.
What's up, guys? This is Under the Ground. We're here tonight with Lost Circus. We got Steve, vocals. We got Brian, guitars. We got Kenny, guitars. We got Chad on bass. And we have Tom, the drummer.
That's me.
So you two guitars, do you play got a lead and a rhythm, or you got to switch off on that?
No, we've always just shared whatever works to make the song work. Yeah, it's kind of been split equally.
All right. So I was asking when we first started, when Tom jumped in, what was some of you guys' influence when you started playing music?
Mine are all 80s heavy metal, hard rock, hair metal, glam metal, all that stuff from the 80s is what I listen to. Mostly my idols are, Rob Halford and Jeff Tate from Queensryche and stuff like that. That's kind of what, one of my favorite band is Megadeth. Just, I know he's not the greatest singer, but that's just my favorite band musically.
The hell of a songwriter.
Well, that makes you guys here.
Yeah. It's the songwriter part that I enjoy the most, the melodies and stuff. Yeah. That's my influences.
Yeah, I mean, for me, especially with the two guitar thing, is everything from Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, Queensryche, Stryper, the way they work out harmonies and the way they complement each other. And then as guitar players, of course, those guys, and then also, of course, Eddie Van Halen, George Lynch, Vito Bratta, guys like that, Jakey Lee, especially for the flash and all the craziness he did on the guitar, the way he could make so many sounds, and just was really expressive.
Yeah, I think other than Zach, Jake was probably one of my favorite Aussie guitars.
Yep.
What's that?
Yeah, a little bit of the same there, but I also had a lot of the grunge influence and 90s rock. One of my biggest influences is Faith No More. Billy Gould, their bass player, is probably my number one influence. I've got the usual suspects, Cliff Burton and Geddy Lee and the like. But really, if you want a fully rounded version of what I grew up on, Billy Gould's your guy. So.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to say by looks, she would be the least one I would have figured to Faith No More fan. I like everything Mike Patton does. That's probably my favorite vocalist, Mike Patton. Yeah, I like Mr. Bongo and all them guys.
Yeah,
what about you? Yeah, they were great this year when they came around with Scotty and Dave Lombardo. The whole new lineup. What about you, Tom? What are you into?
Well, I'm the old man in the band, so some of my influences go back a little earlier. the first rock and roll poster I had on my wall was Kiss Alive. So Peter Criss, just from his showmanship perspective, and then of course Neil Peart with Rush, and some other studio guys. I had the good fortune of working with some guys in the studio like Larry London, who you may not recognize his name, but Larry was a big time studio drummer here in Nashville. He played on the Steve Perry solo album, a lot of that sort of thing, some Motown stuff. So I learned a lot about recording from him. But I would have to say my all-time fanboy influence as far as just power drummers would have to be Tommy Aldridge. And, he's played everything from Pat Travers to Ozzy to, was with Whitesnake for almost 30 years. And a lot of the other studio things that he's done as well. He's sort of the quintessential showman, power drummer, and obviously being a double bass drummer myself, I try to emulate some of the things he's done. He's got a few years on me experience wise, obviously, but if I had to pick one, it would be Tommy Aldridge.
How long you guys been a band?
15, 20 minutes. Kidding. We came together, and Brian tells the story well. We came together during the great pause. COVID was actually sort of our friend. As far as providing us a reason to get together and to sort of create the recipe for our creativity, and sort of the essence of what Lost Circus is all about. So we had a lot of time to not have to worry about playing shows because nobody was playing shows. And Steve had and still has literally 3-ring binders full of lyrics and poetry and that sort of thing. So we spent a lot of time in a rehearsal space, writing and arranging and all that, so that we were well prepared when we did finally go in the studio to record that first record.
All right. So what exactly is the Lost Circus essence?
I think it's a good blend of what you just asked us. What are our influences? What are our what we all sort of bring to the table? And the great thing about this band is really there's not, no pun intended, there's not a ringleader in this circus. It's all sort of equal parts, and everybody brings value to the equation. So if you look on the publishing credits, the writing credits on all the songs on the album, we split everything even. It's even Steven across the board, because we feel like everybody contributes to every song in some form or fashion. So if one person brings an idea into the room, it's 5 people stirring the batter, so to speak. It's and I mentioned the show aspect of some of my influences. We started this thing with the idea that we weren't just going to go out and play bars and wear jeans and a t-shirt and like every other of the 15,000 bands in every city USA. We wanted to do everything we do with intent, with a purpose, and give an entertaining package to anybody and everybody that we were lucky enough to put it in front of, whether it be listening to the CD, streaming it, or coming out to a show and seeing what we do on stage.
You guys, you play a lot throughout the country, or just pretty much based out in Nashville when you guys are doing shows? Or
It's funny. We try not to play in Nashville only because everything here is so diluted, and the unfortunate part about playing in Nashville, even if you got a good Saturday night in a great venue, there's only so much audience, and there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of options for everybody.
Yep.
So a dedicated crowd and a dedicated following, sadly as it is in our hometown, is not really something that we wrap our arms around. So if we can go play a bike rally in Daytona during Bike Week in front of 12 or 1,500 people, or we've got some other things, festival type things coming up later this fall, some other things early in 26, or open for, we've had the great fortune of opening for bands like Accept or Winger or Firehouse or Warrant, or those kind of guys. It puts us in front of an audience that we're not running into at the 7-Eleven down on the corner.
Yeah.
So we're taken less for granted that way than you are in your own hometown.
You brought up a good point about Nashville. I didn't even think about that. Not only like is it overflooded, but you got 90% of your people are just there partying. Ain't got people just there to watch music.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of venues in Nashville where people are just going to stumble in for rock and roll. If you're down on Broadway, obviously they bounce from bar to bar, and they've got millions of talented players down there, on rotation that are going through that can all just play 1,000 songs a night, and they're all great, very talented musicians. But the attraction there isn't usually the in particular band. It's usually either the bar that it's at, or who owns the bar, or some special event like that. But there's not a lot of that for rock, for original bands in Nashville.
Yeah, I've never. I don't think I've
you're up
even ever
against.
been to
There
rock
aren't a
bar in
lot of
Nashville.
venues that people would stumble into.
Yeah. You talking about great players. I was there last summer and stumbled in the bar and I watched this guy playing a stand-up bass, throw it up over his head and played the stand-up bass over his head. I was like, damn.
Yep. No, there's no shortage of talent in Nashville. There just seems to be a shortage of rock venues for original groups,
Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna still download. I'm gonna play one of your guys' videos here in a minute. Looks like we'll probably play Broken Shadows. You guys want to tell us about it a little bit?
Go ahead, Steve.
That was one of the excuse me, one of the first songs that we did, and we figured it fit the opening of the album quite well. So it's a story about finding yourself and being at peace with things and figuring out what life's all about. I mean, that's kind of basic, but it's a male, female, anybody can take it and hopefully figure out what I'm trying to say, and make it their own.
What are you trying to say?
It's just a positive song. We're fighting our own demons, and we just have to. I believe in a higher power. I believe in God, and I believe it was a song that I was meant to write. I was supposed to write the lyrics for anyway, and then these guys came along and fixed it and made the music for it, made it heavier than I was expecting it to be at the time.
No.
But yeah, it's a look inside, a look outside, find yourself song.
All right. It's about done downloading. You're going a little slow tonight.
Interesting thing about Broken Shadows and This Place Is Mad. We shot both of those videos over the same weekend. Was directed by a guy by the name of Pierre Lamour out of Canada, who worked with Rush for most of their career. all
Oh,
of
wow.
their live performances and live video recordings and all that. He produced and directed all of that for them, and has worked with a number of Canadian acts and all that. And through my other career in video production, he became a really good friend about 15 years ago. And when he listened to the band, he was like, "What can I do to help you guys?" And I said, "Well, funny you should ask." And next thing you know, we've got 2 music videos out of the deal.
Nice. So I was going to ask you, do you guys got any, most bands got a good story about the music video shoot. There's something always that happens, or it just seems like something goes on during video shoots. They're different.
Well, that weekend we shot both of those videos, similar in style, similar in look. But if you watch This Place Is Mad, you'll see we had some other friends come out and join us on set. Some cute little female clowns were part of that group. One of which is pretty handy with a flaming hula hoop.
Oh, nice. That makes an interesting show when you see stuff like that.
That's one word for it. Yes.
So all 4 of you, all you guys wear the makeup, right?
No, that was
During
just
the show?
something I do to cover my wrinkles.
I like
I wear
the
guy
theatrical
liner. I wear
aspect
guy
of the
liner
music.
sometimes. That's about it.
That comes with the 80s rock. Yeah, I'm like you, Steve. I'm a writer. I've got notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks from all the way back from middle school. I still keep all my shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I still have all the terrible ones, and all the ones I think are good that might not be, and all of them.
I tell you, this is a question I usually ask toward the end, but since we're talking about your songwriting, what it's happening. It's the future. What do you guys think of all this AI?
Go, Brian.
Well, I mean, it's like anything else. It's going to be a tool. Um, a brick can be used to build an orphanage, or it can be used to smash a window. So it all really kind of depends on how you use it. It's going to be very powerful. It's going to be difficult, and it already is, for people to tell what's real and what's organic. Like everything else, we're just going to have to kind of figure it out. Uh, I would hope that anybody that uses it in a creative sense admits when they do, for the sake of saying, yeah, this song was written by AI, or this music was written by AI, just so that people know. But I did hear like a
Yeah.
really disturbing event took place. I guess you'd say there was a top 100 hooks of recent music were played for a crowd of people, like a survey, and the top 7 hooks picked by people were all written by AI. Out of the
Oh,
top
wow.
100, the top 7 were AI inspired, and that was AI analyzing every hook throughout, recorded history, I guess you'd say, musical history, and figuring out
Mhm.
what actually appealed to people. And that's what it created. Now, I don't know what genres those were done in. I was actually going to look more into that and figure out what was going on. But, it's basically, a digital form of human intelligence. It just takes what it's already given, but at some point it's probably going to branch out on its own. And we kind of addressed that in our other video there when we did Uninvited, and kind of took the interpretation in a whole new direction. And that included, addressing the AI issue.
Yeah, when I started this podcast about 2 years ago, I was lined up I got my right leg amputated, so I was like, I need to do something in a chair for a couple of years. So I decided I want to do this podcast because I ran a record store here outside Indianapolis till
Record
computers.
store.
Yes,
Record
sir.
store.
15 years sitting and talking about music.
Cool.
Till we closed down. We tried everything to keep that thing going, but the digital age just wiped us out. But so I started researching for the podcast, and that's how I started stumbling on the AI stuff about 2 years ago. Actually, I was in the hospital waiting to go to surgery, and a buddy sent me the Suno because I'm the writer, and I fell in love with that. I got addicted to it. It's like that's why I got all my notepads out, because songs that were just pieces of songs I've turned into songs, and as a tool, it has like helped my songwriting tremendously. Because just from going to notepads, you're generating a whole song, so you're putting your little emphasis and putting in stuff I usually don't write when I write my songs.
Yep.
I think it's like you said, it's a tool, and I really love that the metaphor with the brick in the orphanage, and the great metaphor. I get some bands on here that get really upset when I ask about it, and it's like, man, guys, it's happening. I mean, you got to get with it or get left behind. But it's going to make the creative more creative, in my opinion. And the real always weeds out the fake. I mean, that happens.
Very good point. Yeah. Very good point. It's we live in an adapt or die universe now. So it can be used for the positive. I think it's a fantastic tool. But to your point, the real is going to, the good's going to weed out the bad. The real is going to weed out the fake, so to speak. And
I also think that once this gets rolling and people start hearing stuff being produced by AI, I think a lot of people are going to go back to miking amps, using live drums, because just about everything, the only thing you see in the studios for professional stuff now is the voice. The voice is the only thing that goes from air to, through the air to get recorded. Everything else seems to be either direct or, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's the way things develop, but I think if you're going to have to go back to record like you did back in the 70s almost, if it's going to sound, get it to sound different, because everything sounds the same now. Not us.
I kind of feel like they're going to have like their own little AI. I think once everybody gets used to it, I think you probably have people that just listen to AI music, and then you'll have your own people that just listen to their music, I think
could become its own genre.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like the way EDM.
There's already a band out there. One guy got he did all the AI pictures, and he released a 10-song album, and it started to chart somewhere. And then people were getting, like, wait a minute, this has got to be AI. Look at the picture, looks fake. And then it was. Come to find out, the whole thing was fake, and it fooled a lot of people at first. But people enjoyed the music.
I was reading about that last night.
Okay, yeah.
The Silver something. I can't remember the band's name, but yeah, it was on quite a few of them.
Well, it's no fair when the guitar player has 6 fingers.
Yeah.
Or 7.
And a hand sticking out of his back.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to get Broken Shadows on here. I'm going to do a screen share because the file's too big to download. So.
Get to watch myself on TV, Mama.
No, where's that? So where'd you say this video shot at again?
Here in Nashville at Skyway Studios on their LED stage.
Okay.
Yeah, who else just shot a video there?
We just finished the new Hailstorm video for Darkness Always Wins, was shot on the same stage.
All right. Nice. Let's see here. We got it going there. Let's get it on screen. And this is Broken Shadows by Lost Circus.
Every plan has a weakness. Every storm has a how can you let me bleed like this? Are you that damn cruel? How can you see so deep inside my soul? It's fine. It's all we ever needed was the broken shadows. All we ever needed. We're so blind. But it's hidden before our eyes. the start time of healing. Now you face the light. Amazed at what you can see and feel. Fell down in the ruins of by day by night. My soul is right. You're young and you're not. All we ever needed was the faith to heal our broken shadows. All we ever needed, we're so blind. It's hidden before our eyes. All we ever needed was the faith to heal our broken shadows. All we ever needed was so blind. It's hidden before our eyes. Leave behind your broken shadows. Leave your broken shadows.
Yeah, I dig it. What are you guys playing? Jackson's? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I guess I got to take this off here. All right, there we go. So, what are you guys playing? Jackson's?
No, those were Gibson's Explorers.
Gibson? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys, did they have you tape up the headstocks for the video? Or
Oh
Something
no,
like that?
it's on there.
don't
Yeah,
have a Gibson?
yeah,
Yeah, it's,
yeah.
I like the
switched
song.
out a few different times, so
I like the I like your squeals kind of got like this Zach Wilde kind of style with that on that song. And
guilty as
Steve,
charged.
Yeah.
by the time it's over, I'll grab it. But your vocals remind me of something that somebody you didn't mention. I'm trying to figure out who it is. But I like it. You can really tell you're Rob Halford influence and all that.
John Denver.
John Denver, Yanni.
Neil Diamond. Yeah.
So what's the future holding for you guys?
Writing for the second album, in the middle of recording and mixing songs for that. So that's the big push. We've been promoting our single Uninvited, and we've got a new one that's going to mastering that'll be coming out next. So we're kind of previewing some songs that'll be on the upcoming album as it's being completed.
Okay. So what's your guys' feel on the? Do you guys put albums out once, or are you into the singles, dropping the singles now like everybody else is?
I mean, really everything is a single unless it's bought, on a physical piece of media. So, we're going to release a few songs while the album, as they're done. But then there's going to be, a mass release of everything at the end. They'll have some bonus stuff on it as well.
Yeah, being older and like I said, running a music store, I couldn't grasp the singles, but then the more I did this podcast and talk to bands, it's like, you get a whole 12 months if you drop a single month, you got 12 months to promote an album and then put it out. So it's a win-win. I was like, man, so I still get some bands that just are not about it. And
well, yeah, I mean, you can see if you look on downloads on popularity of songs, when a band releases a whole album, there'll be, 1, 2, 3, or maybe a few more that you can see are downloaded a lot. And then the others just get lost because people don't listen to music the way they used to. They're not sitting in a room and throwing it on. And I mean, yes, we still think about the order of songs and how they go on an album and how they, could tell the story if people listen to them that way, or the flow. But most of people go through life on random,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Especially the
each
younger
song has to
generation.
stand on its own.
Yeah, the younger generation won't even play a whole album. Like my kids will listen, they're 20 and 24, and they'll be playing something like, oh, that's a good song. Have you heard the rest of it? No.
A lot of people know the song. They have no idea who the band is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was that guy that I like I still got all my CDs and my vinyl. I like my artwork. I like my lyric sheets. I like, to have something from that. I mean, especially if you really appreciate the album, man.
Well, and it seems like that's a trend now too. Is you can now buy a turntable again with a USB connection. So vinyl. This from owning and running a record store. Buying a 12-inch album is as much about the information that you can hold in your hand and the photos and being able to read all the album credits. Even the booklets in a CD. Chad doesn't remember albums because Chad's not old enough to know what an album is. But even liner notes in cassette boxes. I remember buying cassettes and pulling out a 12-gate fold out big long strip so you could read lyrics, and information about the band and all those sorts of things, which obviously now you can get anywhere with the Google machine. But there was just something cool about being able to get home from the record store and rip the cellophane off. And if it was a gatefold album, open it up and there might be a shot from a concert or whatever, on the interior, and you throw it on your turntable, and while the music's playing, you're totally lost in all of the lyrics and the pictures and all that sort of experience.
I do miss all that.
Even in our album that we've released, I mean, the first release, there's a couple of different versions of the album in the artwork that we've kind of alluded to. We've let the cat out of the bag on that. There's some like Easter eggs in the artwork that will indicate whether or not it was the first run of the CD, the second run, or the third run. Nice. And then when FHM Records picked up that album to under their label to distribute, we actually, at that point, they wanted to do a jewel case, and we had only done the digipack, single fold, and so I had to add some additional artwork and so forth. So, but it's been cool. And then we put out our vinyl. It's been over a year ago now. Actually, just sold one on the merch store the other day. So. Then with the vinyl, we had to, increase the artwork there and figure out how to make it work on a 12-inch, 12-inch square instead of the CD. So, but yeah, it's been cool. We, of course, we all, as Tom said, we all come from that era that, we did like sitting down and looking at the artwork and reading about the instruments and the process that went into it, the liner notes and the backstories from some of the band members. Who knows what was in there? You never knew what you were going to get until you opened it up. But we definitely want to keep that going.
That's what I was going to say when you said the Easter eggs, because he was talking about opening up, ripping up. Then sometimes you get bands that you get just something even extra in there, a little ticket stub or a sticker. I mean, just the fun stuff they did with music. Yeah, I remember the midnight releases. Like I think I went Marilyn Manson's first or second album. I got a midnight sale. You had to be there, and actually I got both of Use Your Illusions at a midnight sale too. You had to be there at midnight, and they released them. And actually, I probably worked it honestly.
Yeah.
But I picked the album up too.
Same thing with our merch. When we get merch orders, I always try to drop something extra in there.
Well, I'll be ordering your guys' vinyl. I'll throw it with my collection. What's your website versus the store here? I'll put it in on a banner so they know where to order everything if anybody wants it.
Yeah, so it's lostcircusofficial.com.
All right. Yeah, we'll get it on there. We'll go into another video. Is there any specific one you guys want me to play?
Why don't you play the newest one, Uninvited?
Okay.
You'd never imagine this was an Alanis Morissette song.
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah,
wow.
I was going to say, when you get to the credits, you can come out of it because we deliberately added it on there, kind of like a movie, to make sure that everybody worked with us, that their name was attached to it.
So,
But the credits are almost as long as the video. We had so many friends and the coworkers get in on it, but we wanted to make sure they always, were included in it. So
who shot this one? The same guy shot the last video. Shoot this one.
actually, no, somebody by the name of Calico Cooper, whose father's name is Alice. Her and her
Oh,
husband, they directed photography. She shot it, produced it, oversaw it, helped us with the ideas, brought it all together. And so yeah, it was a pleasure to work with her and him, and it really turned out even more amazing than I expected when the idea came to me and we started batting it around. So
So how did you guys run into her? Have you worked with her before? Is it just something you?
yeah, I get to work with her band Bisto Blanco. I've filled in on bass and guitar for them and also run sound for them and guitar tech and all kinds of stuff. So she directed most of their videos in the last few years. So I thought at first I just wanted to bounce the idea off her and about, just helping with the ideas. And then she, got in on it and took the reins and off we went.
Nice. Let's pull it up here. I'm anxious to see it. If it's anything compared to the last one, the video quality of that last one was great. That was a great video.
Well, this one's more of a concept video than a performance video.
Okay.
But it basically tells the story of AI becoming self-aware, and then making the decision: do we play nice with humanity, or do we eliminate humanity?
Yep. That's I tell people with AI, it's, it could be a thing that greatly improved us, or it could be the decline of us. And that human is what's going to make that decision. That AI human is the one that's going to steer it in what direction it goes.
Right.
You might enjoy this then.
All right, here we go. This is Uninvited.
Like anyone would be, I am flattered by your fascination with me. Like any hot-blooded human, I have simply wanted an object to crave. You're uninvited and unfortunate night. Must be strangely exciting to watch the stomach squirt. It must be somewhat heartening to watch shepherd eat shepherd. But you're not. You're uninvited. Unfortunate. Like any uncharted story, I must seem greatly intriguing. Oh, you speak of my love like You have experienced before. It's not allowed. You're uninvited, and unfortunately. I don't think you unworthy. I need a moment to deliver.
Yeah. Nope. That's that ain't get it unmuted here. That's definitely it's different than the last song. I mean, now I can't grab where I was going with your vocals because that's a total different sound there. I dig the violin. I dig strings and metal. Like I've been big lately in band, trying to hear banjo in hard guitars. Something about it's just neat. Like, well, I guess I do it when I'm making my little AI songs. You put a little banjo breakdown in it and shit.
Like Uncle Tom's Cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, favorite Warrant song, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
it's
Cassandra Sotos was the one that, not in the video. Calico played the video violinist, but Cassandra Sotos was the one that did the string. She did like 24 tracks for us.
oh wow.
So it's all real. All of
So-
the strings are real.
Yeah.
The girl playing the violin in the video is Calico Cooper.
Yep.
Yep.
You know what,
She
guys?
had never put her hands on a violin ever in
Until
her
that
life
moment.
until that day.
Nice. I'm going to go ahead and play another video. I was sitting here watching this and realized I put food in the deep fryer before I even started this podcast, and I better go turn that off.
Burn your house down.
Yeah, I know.
I'm actually gonna have to cut out though. I'm down here on vacation with the family, and they're all in the restaurant waiting for me.
Okay. Well, I
But I
appreciate
am
you
gonna have
coming
to
out,
cut
Brian.
out. No, absolutely.
Well, if you guys want,
Absolutely.
I'll outro with the video. If you guys want to, right now, if you want to holler at everybody, tell them where to find you and where to find your stuff.
LostCircusOfficial.com. All the socials. We're on Facebook. We're on, I think we're on TikTok. We're on Insta. All of that. And
All over.
Hit us up. Say hi. Anybody out there? Just hit
yeah,
us up.
absolutely.
Yes.
Don't be scared.
Give us a
I
ring.
tell everybody, my under the ground pages, like it's for promoting. You guys put all your music on there, spam it. I mean, I tell bands all the time, post on there every day if you want. That's what it's for.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Dude, we
thanks for the
appreciate all
interview,
the
brother.
support.
Appreciate
All
it.
right, let me go get this deep fry. Get another video going here. I think we're going to go with let's see. Let's go with This Place Is Mad.
Perfect.
Cool. That's a good way to, that's how we end our set. So that's a
Yeah.
good way to
Is
go
it?
out.
Nice.
Good one.
I did that on purpose.
Excellent. Good
Well
planning. Good
done.
planning.
Well done, good sir.
There you go.
One word you never get from me. Disaster. Now you're my enemy. Run you will, and beg you will, and surely you will die. Face the pain, give it a name, plan your escape alive. No one makes it out here with everything they have. Evil comes and evil goes. Bad begets bad. This place is mad. This place is mad. This place is mad. This place is mad. One night for a night before you leave. It's a goodbye, but now you cannot see. And fall you will, and crawl you will, and surely you will cry. Since the night reach the light, feel the other side. No one makes it out here with everything they have. Evil comes and evil goes. Bad begins bad. This place is mad. This place is mad. This place is mad. This place is mad. Man. This place, no one makes it out of here with everything they have. Evil comes and evil goes. Bad begins bad. This place is mad. 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 This place is mad.
I really dig the aesthetics that you guys put on your video. You have some great aesthetics.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
these
That's fun.
things didn't make it.
What's that?
These things didn't make it. My little taquitos. They're hard as a rock.
Oh, I see.
So I kind of
Well,
get it. Like it kind of goes with Rob Halford, but I definitely hear some Tim Ripper Owens in there in your vocals. And am I hearing like? Are you a Gary Strome fan?
I don't, not a lot. I mean, not that I don't like the guy, but I didn't really listen to a lot of his stuff. More of a Jeff Tate, Ozzy,
Yeah, I can definitely hear
that.
the Queens with Jeff Tate in there.
A little bit. I try to
Well,
emulate. Dio, I'm a
I
huge Dio
appreciate
fan.
you guys coming out.
What's that?
I appreciate you guys coming out and
Oh,
talking
absolutely.
to me tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Call us back on. Maybe we can all be in the same room together next time.
But that's what I tell. Like last season, and Brian hasn't told a lot of people, but I'd like to have bands come on and play a few songs, even if it's acoustic or something. Like we did. It seems like if we do it live and their songs, talk, play live song, people, we just gain a lot more of a live crowd when we're doing that.
Yeah, we could. I'm sure we could pull off a couple acoustics. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys definitely keep in touch. I'm going to order the vinyl, and I'll show it when it comes in. I'll show it on here because I'm anxious to get it. I dig your guys' music.
Oh, I appreciate it, man.
Before we go, do you have any shows coming up soon or anything?
We don't have it. We've got some stuff coming up. They're just not completed because it's festival stuff, and we don't know what day of the 2 day. We play usually 2 days out of 3 or 4, and we're not 100% sure yet. But we've got something coming up in August, late August, September, October. Just probably 5 or 6 more shows toward the end of the year. But we've been concentrating on the album.
Nice. If you guys get in contact with me, I'll get you out here in Indianapolis. I know several promoters.
That would be great.
Yeah, so
that would be great. Yeah.
My main goal for this, that's why I did in independent local music. I said local, but I get so many people say it's not local, it's all over. But it's everybody. Everybody helps everybody. That's the way that it works. You share your resources, share your everything, and lift the scene up with you.
Absolutely, yeah. Curtain Call Records does all of our bookings now, but I'll get Chad to send you their information. You can just talk to John over there.
I get through Curtain Call. I get him to Brian, so I'll just.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah.
You guys, Curtain Call, and I say this on every episode. Like, man, you guys have a great roster of bands. Like, there's some great bands on that. The Curtain Call.
They really do. Yeah, it's fun. We've done a few shows for John over there, down in Daytona. So it's been fun. You
guys, did you play down in Daytona when was Dead Empire? Did you the show Dead Empire was at? I know they come over from New Zealand and did a show.
Yeah, we were not involved in that part of it. We were at both of the biker fests at Daytona, the winter one, and then this past spring.
Have you guys played with any other? You guys play with any other Curtain Call bands though?
Cali Mob was there. This was before we signed with them. I know Cali Mob was there, but I don't know if any of the other bands were at this one.
Yeah, there's a band out of Memphis on Curtain Call that you guys mesh well with called Fever Tree.
Yeah. I'm trying to make myself familiar with everybody on the label.
The drummer was the drummer for Tora Tora.
That's right. Yeah.
That was my genre, like you said. When you said 80s rock hair bands, that was what I grew. It got me out of Michael Jackson into Guns N' Roses and so on. Look, Brian just jumped in. What's up, Brian? Brian's in the comments. We're just wrapping up, Brian. Good to see you.
Hey, Brian.
Just talking about Records. You guys, I thank y'all for checking in, tuning in with us. We've been here with Lost Circus. Hit up the website, order some albums, or order some vinyl. Show them some support, guys. Great band. Keep pushing this good music so we can keep the good music going.
Well, we sure do. Thank you for having us on, and we'll come on again. Just holler at us.
Yes, sir. I'm going to play another video to end out with, and we'll just let's see. We'll go with
Silent Running's the only actual other video. Well, we got a couple lyric videos, but yeah, Silent Running I think is the other actual one that more than just lyrics.
Is that the other one that the first video we watched? Is this the other one that he produced? I can't remember.
No. This is this one. The Silent Running one is like a lyric / we recorded some stuff and Chad put it all together. So it's a little story plus lyrics.
All right. Well, let's check it out here.
All right. Well, I'm going to tag out then.
All right. You enjoy your game, man. Thank you again.
Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it, man.
Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you? Can you? Can you? Can you hear? Can you hear me calling you? Can you? Can you?
All right, guys. Thanks. I guess we had some audio issues with that last one. I'll go through and check it, and if we got issues with all of them, I'll put them, re-upload them to the live. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Next week, Brian, tell me if I'm right. Dan Sindel is next week. Same time, Thursday, 7:00. We got karaoke tomorrow, the Boar's Nest with Moi. And we also, I think that's it. You guys have a great holiday weekend, and thank you for joining us.